The Beinoni contends with two inner voices competing for exclusive attention expression. Despite the perpetual victory of the divine soul in exerting itself, the Beinoni is nonetheless Russia-like, since the evil side has not vanished or been transformed, rather is perfectly alive, even stronger with time. At times, like prayer, etc., the Beinoni can merely snooze it. In today's lesson, the Beinoni is not ruled by his evil inclination or good inclination. Rather, his inclination is trying to get its point across, like a judge giving his opinion, and it is a special spiritual energy from God that helps out the good inclination, like a third deciding judge. Perek Yod Gimel, chapter 13. In the previous chapter, the Alter Rebbe described the spiritual profile of the Beinoni. In the Beinoni's heart, said the Alter Rebbe, evil desires may often arise, but his divine soul constantly prevents such desires from finding expression in actual thought, speech, or action. On the contrary, these three soul garments are the exclusive domain of the divine soul and are utilized by the Beinoni only for thought, speech, and action of Torah study and the fulfillment of mitzvos. ובזה יובן לשון מימר רבותינו זיכרונם לברכה בינונים זה וזה shayftan perush yetzer tov yetzer hara. Accordingly, we may understand the comment of our sages that Beinoni are judged by both their good and evil inclinations. Both judge him and dictate his conduct. As scriptural support for this contention, the Talmud cites "Shekasiv ki yamoid limin ya avyain lahaishia mishoiftei nafshay." For it is written, "He, the Almighty, stands at the right hand of the poor man to save him from them that judge his soul." In Psalms 109:31, the plural "them that judge" indicates the presence of two judges within the person, the evil inclination and the good. We thus find that the Beinoni's inclinations are described as his judges. Now, were the term Beinoni to be understood in its simple literal sense of one who has an equal history of good deeds and bad, it should more properly be said that the Beinoni is ruled by both inclinations. For one to sin, his evil inclination must rule him. For him to do good, his good inclination must rule. The Beinoni, who supposedly does both, must be ruled and not merely judged by both. However, accordingly to the explanation of the term Beinoni given in the previous chapter, it is clear indeed the Beinoni is merely judged by both inclinations, not ruled by both, as shall be explained presently. V'lai amru zeh v'zeh moishlim chas v'shalom ki kashe yesh ezoi shalita mimshala layetzer hara ba'ir katana afilu lafish kala. Note that our sages did not say he is ruled by both the good inclination and the evil, God forbid, because where the evil nature gains any rule and dominion, albeit momentarily, over the small city, for example, when the evil rules one's body, likened to a city which both the good inclination and the evil seek to conquer, one is deemed wicked, Rasha, at such times. Eile hayetzer hara eino rach al derech mashal kamor shoifet, v'dayin ha'omer datoi b'mishpat. Rather, the evil inclination in the Beinoni is no more than, for example, a magistrate or judge who expresses his opinion on a point of law. ואף על פי כן יכול להיות שלא היה פסק הלכה כך למעשה, מפני שיש עוד שופט ודיין החולק עליו, וצריך להכריע ביניהם בהלכה כדברי המכריע. כך היצר הרע אומר דעתו בחלה השמאלי שבלב. Yet, in fact, his decision is not necessarily final, but there is another magistrate or judge who disagrees with him. It then becomes necessary, in order to formulate a binding decision, to arbitrate between the two. The final verdict will rest with the arbitrator. Similarly, in the battle between the evil inclination and the good, the evil inclination states its opinion in the left part of the Beinoni's heart. It creates an evil desire in his heart and demands that he acts accordingly, thus rendering judgment as to his future conduct. From the heart, the desire ascends to the mind for contemplation. This ascent is automatic. Whenever a desire is awakened in the heart, the brain will contemplate it. ומייד חולק עליו השופט השני שהוא הנפש הליקיס שבמוח. Immediately upon its ascent to the brain, it is challenged by the second judge, the divine soul residing in the brain. ומתפשט bechalal hayemani shebalev makayim mishkan hayetzer tov, which extends into the right part of the heart, where the good inclination abides, for example, reveals itself. V'halacha kedivrei hamachriya hu hakadosh baruch hu oizroi hayetzer tov. The final verdict rests with the arbitrator, the Holy One, blessed be He, who comes to the aid of the good inclination, enabling it to prevail over the evil inclination. Kamaimar Rabbi Seino Zivreinam Livracha El Male Hakadosh Baruch Hu Oizroi Ein Yacholo. As our sages say, man's evil inclination gathers strength daily. And if the Almighty did not help him, for example, help his good inclination, he could not overcome it, his evil one. And that's from Kedushin 30b. Ba'ezerhi ha'hara shemeir or Hashem al nefesh halokis. The help that Hashem grants him is the glow of divine light that illuminates his divine soul. Liyois la yisrain ushlita al sichlus hakasil v'yetzer hara kayisrain ha'or min ha'choshek kenizkar la'el. That it may gain superiority and mastery over the folly of the fool, the evil inclination, a dominion paralleling the superiority of light over darkness, as stated above in chapter 12. The Alter Rebbe now goes on to resolve the contradiction and answer the question noted in the opening words of the Tanya. The Talmud states that a Jew is charged with an oath to regard himself as wicked, whereas elsewhere the Mishnah declares, "Be not wicked in your own estimation." And that's in Avot 2:13. Whereas elsewhere the Mishnah declares, oh wait, I already said that, be not wicked in your own estimation. Also, if a person considers himself wicked, he will be grieved at heart and depressed, and will not be able to serve Hashem joyfully and with a contented heart. Ach me'echar shaharash bechalal hasmali beinoni hu besachto kasoiladtai lehisa ois tava lokol tanugei oilam hazeh. Yet, inasmuch as the evil in the left part of the Beinoni's heart is in its native strength, craving after all the pleasures of this world, ולא נתבטל במהירות לגבי הטוב ולא נדחה ממקומו כלל, and is neither so minute as to be nullified before the good of the divine soul, as is the case with its tzaddik, nor has it been displaced from its position to any degree. רק שאין לו שליטה ממשלה להספשט be'evrei haguf, but merely lacks authority and power to become diffused throughout the limbs of the body, to cause them to do, speak, or think evil, nor is the evil's lack of ability attributable to the Beinoni's effect, for his evil, like that of the Rasha, retains its native strength to pervade the entire body, rather the evil is powerless merely. מפני הקדוש ברוך הוא האומר לימון אביין ועזר ומאיר לנפש אלוקיס. Because of the Holy One, blessed be you, who stands at the right hand of the poor man, helping him and irradiating his divine soul so that it may be able to prevail over the evil. Thus it is only divine intervention that prevents the evil from pervading the body. Essentially, however, the evil of the Beinoni's animal soul is as strong as it was at birth. לכן נקרא כרשע כמים רבי סטיינו זכרינם לברכה, אפילו כל העולם כולי אומרים לך צדיק אתה היה בעיניך כרשע בלי רשע ממש. Therefore the Beinoni is described as being karasha, like a rasha, but not actually a rasha. As in the statement of our sages, even if the whole world tells you that you are a tzaddik, be in your own eyes like a rasha. He should not regard himself as an actual rasha, for the Midrash admonishes, be not wicked in your own estimation. Moreover, regarding oneself as a rasha hinders one from serving God joyfully. Rather, one should consider oneself a Beinoni. Ha'amin ha'olam she'oimrim shaharasha boi nizbatel legabe hatoiv shezoi madregas tzadik. Rather, one should consider himself a Beinoni, and should not believe, i.e., accept the world's opinion, which would have him believe that the evil in him has been nullified by the good, for this is the level of a tzaddik. אלא יהיה בעיניו כאילו המוסי והתמוסי של הרע הוא זכאי ובגבורתו בחלל השמאלי כסילדתי ולא חלף והלך ממנו מאומה ואדרבה נתחזק יותר בהמשך הזמן שנשתמש בו הרבה באכילה ושתייה ושאר ענייני העולם הזה. Instead, he should take the view that the essence and core of the evil is in its full native strength and might in the left part of his heart, not having vanquished or departed from him at all. On the contrary, with the passage of time, the evil has gained strength because he utilized it, for example, the animal soul, considerably, in eating and drinking and other mundane pursuits. As with every faculty, constant use of the animal soul causes it to become even stronger than it was at birth. The Alter Rebbe thus concludes that the words "consider yourself like a rasha" mean that one must consider himself a Beinoni. The above applies to those who have reached a lofty spiritual level. They too should consider themselves Beinonim, for one should consider himself a tzaddik and maintain that the evil within him has already been nullified by the good. He will cease to do battle with the evil if he is mistaken and is not in fact a tzaddik. Such an unfounded attitude can cause him to slip drastically from his level, descending even lower than the level of a Beinoni to that of a Rasha. The takeaway: your struggle is fierce and at times may be challenging, but you are never alone. Hashem stands on your right and is there with you every step of the way, not only encouraging you, but also giving you strength.